Well, it's time for yet another Experience Sessions right here on indigomusic.com. And with me right now, I've got Manta Sidhu from the Manta Sidhu Ensemble. She's all the way in Delhi and she's talking to us. Really excited to have you, Manta. It's been a few years. We haven't caught up. So how are you doing?
Hi, Melvin. Thank you so much for having me here. I'm doing great. And it's nice to catch up after ages.
I know it's been a long time
since we met last, right?
Yes, it really has been a while. Manta, why don't you, of course, we're talking to you from Bangalore, and I don't know how much you've performed in Bangalore, but for some of the people, or for our listeners in Bangalore, maybe quick introductions, how you started, how your journey began, and just take us back to the times.
So, like many musicians that I know, we started young when we were in college, when everything was nice and rosy, and we would grow up to become rock stars. So that's how it started for me as well. And the dream.
No, which is very true. I mean, it was so cool in college for you to do that, and everybody envied you. You were the popular crowd. So yeah, I'm sure it was.
We don't. Whenever people kind of get into the comforts of real life, they realize that our popularity doesn't serve us much. But I think at the end of the day, we just kind of find ways to continue to do what we want to do, and we kind of navigate through the challenges. And I think post college, you start seeing those realities, and those are the days when you need to take those real decisions in life about what you really want to spend your time doing.
And also, Manta, look, I've heard you. I mean, for anybody who knows Delhi, I think if you've been to the Piano Man, I think you'd have definitely bumped into the Manta Sidhu Ensemble. And what a great place, what a great haunt as well, the Piano Man, for great music. And your music is very soulful and it's big on harmony. Well, right. I mean, those are the words that I can muster up, but why don't you describe your music for everybody listening in as well?
It was just an idea that instead of going with the regular 5-piece outfit where you have keyboard, drums, bass, guitar, and voice, I thought that maybe I should try and work with a voice ensemble, because I've always been very, very fascinated with working with harmonies. I also have been training a lot of choirs, student choirs in my life. So it's something that comes naturally to me. And I just feel like I felt it was something the audiences would enjoy because it wasn't really out there.
Right. And was it difficult to assemble the ensemble? Getting Jasmine and Sherry on board, did you have a lot of difficulty finding the right kind of people for your kind of music? Or?
So I was very, very lucky because Jasmine and I had been friends earlier. We'd known each other many years before the ensemble happened, but we knew each other as people who were friends of friends.
Right.
And she was on board immediately when I asked her. Okay. And Sherry, I had heard in another concert. There was a fundraiser concert being held in Jawaharlal Nehru University, and I'd heard him. And I did want one male voice and one female voice.
You have a brand new track out as well. It's called Memory. You sent it to me. I heard it as well. Absolutely beautiful lyrics as well. I'm sure you've written the song. So is this a song based on your own personal experience?
This is a question that's asked very commonly of songwriters, that this particular song, is it something about your life? Is it about an episode? But
it just seems really deep. So
So that's also an art of storytelling, right? To make it sound really personal. But as a general view, it basically looks at how it is to move on, and that, all of us have to move on in life from point A to point B, and
right.
It could be about relationships, or it could be about work, or it could be about a state of mind or a state of being. Mm-hmm. So it's just about moving on. And in this particular song, it just talks about a couple that feels it's time for them to move on, but they want to remember their relationship through something beautiful. And this particular song talks about a dance that they would want to remember their time together by.
You spoke about moving on. from a situation to different situations. And so
Yes.
maybe we can bring in, have you managed to move on from the cushy days, the cushy pre-pandemic days to the pandemic days? Because musicians all over the world have had to adapt, from performing to crowds to now performing to a screen to people who are also looking at the screen. So I'm sure it's kind of tough. It's not the same.
I think as long as you don't push yourself into doing things that you're not comfortable with, you're fine. So I have done a few online concerts, but I did not overdo it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
If you're constantly trying to push yourself towards doing something that's feeling unnatural to you, then it can get very frustrating. So I've done a few workshops online. I've done a few songwriting workshops. I've done a few performances. And I just feel like I limited it to an extent where it was okay for me. But I can imagine that if I had to do a lot of this, it would just feel very, very pointless. And because, there is this lack of connection between the listener and the presenter.
All right. And I am looking forward to you strumming the guitar for us and singing a few lines. So Manta, let's do this right now.
All right. So this is a song called Bye Bye Baby.
Okay.
And again, it kind of symbolizes...
Not personal, yes.
No. No. Because this song is probably going to be personal to everybody.
Okay.
But it's just about, we were talking about moving on in life.
Right.
But this is, again, looking at the past. And this is about how you address the past, So right. I just feel like I might have been in that kind of zone during the lockdown, because we're kind of moving into a new dimension altogether, right? Absolutely. This one is called Bye Bye Baby. It's a song that I wrote in the pandemic. This is just a small excerpt from the song. I hope you enjoy it. White light of midnight and a sad song, and memories of the early days long gone. The stillness of the breeze, the cold, cold ground, makes me believe it's all said and done. The faded freckles on my collarbone, 2 hands made of stone, remind me still of all that mattered but didn't see it through, like withered leaves on a broken shoe. So I sang, bye, bye, baby. Then you were young, you were careless as a gun. Who knows, maybe you leave your footprints all over when you're done. It's time to say goodbye to the winds that hurried by while you stood here. These are no ordinary times. There is plenty you could try while you're in here. But remember to be kind to the things you left behind.
That was the X Factor from this edition of Xperience Sessions. Hope you enjoyed it. And Manta Sidhu from the Manta Sidhu Ensemble, thank you so much for joining me on Xperience Sessions.
Having me here. Thank you so much. Thank you everybody for listening.